Hey everyone, Sean here, and today in this video I wanted to sit down and talk about E3. As we all know, it has been canceled for this year once again, but it seems like this time around this is probably and likely the final nail in the coffin. You know, as sad as to say, though despite I have said my 2 cents about E3 in the past, it is still sad to say and see, of course. So I wanted to sit down and talk about it. But before I do that, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out, and I do appreciate it. And a little disclaimer or note, I guess, before we start for reals, is that I've been feeling under the weather, so I actually finally got sick with the cold. So nothing too drastic or anything like that. So don't worry, I'll make it through. But if I like sound like weird or funny or low energy more than usual at some points or whatever, that's, you know, that's just to let you guys know why. So but I did definitely want to talk about it because it is E3 after all. You know, it is the Christmas for video game Christmas for a lot of people. You know, you get to hear all these video game announcements and stuff like that. You get really excited and such, and you know that, to my understanding, you know, a lot of people's dreams to go to E3 itself, you know, in person. And I still do understand that, and I do definitely see that. But yeah, you know, and I do, you know, sympathize for those who do feel sad about E3 being canceled altogether, right? Or just gone altogether. And it pretty much does feel like it is a relic of the past at this point. You know, when I had the opportunities to go to E3, you know, it definitely was something off my bucket list for sure. And I said, you know, hey, the first time I went was pretty great. I met people and all that stuff. And then the second time, I kind of felt the loss of that magic. You know, it kind of just felt not as satisfactory in person. I kind of just don't really honestly like the convention life of it. And I had my discrepancies about, or I had my problems or 2 cents about it. But I think, you know, E3 still was something I look forward to because of, well, the presentations and such like that, the announcements. I think that's what really people are there for at the end of the day. It's just the announcements. That is one thing, and that is the thing. Of course, you know, like I said, it was the dreams of many people, so that they can, you know, meet the game developers and stuff like that, and all that fun stuff. I got to meet a number of people when I did go there. Yes, you know, even I sadly I didn't get to take a picture, but I did meet Ed Boon in person. You know, the guy who, one of the Mortal Kombat guys. It was very brief, but you know, nonetheless, I had the opportunity to just say hi to him at least. So moments like that, you know, I mean, of course, I even was able to meet Angry Joe, and that one I took a picture of. I believe I still have the picture on my phone, so I'll try to put it up on my screen somewhere. So yeah, I mean, things like that. Obviously, people wanted to go because opportunities like that were a thing. And I was able to go only because I was a YouTube partner. But not only that, I was very lucky to win a giveaway for a E3 access of sorts. Until I realized that I was a YouTube. No, I mean, until I realized that I could use my YouTube partnership as a means to get me through the E3 doors, which you know, I kind of beat myself from time to time, I guess, especially my younger self. But nonetheless, though, I was still able to go, and I had my fill with it, you know. So got to kind of take that off my bucket list, and I do consider myself lucky to do so. But I did have my 2 cents about it. You know, it's I always said that in person you're not really missing out, right? But you know, if you want to just go there once, then that's respectable. I definitely do understand that. But do you need to go there again? Probably not. It just there was something that, like, when I went there the second time, I think there was something like wrong I felt, I don't know. Maybe me feeling kind of jaded the second time I went was a sign of things. And here we are, right? So it sucks to see. And, you know, as much as it was not a surprise to a number of people, because E3 had nothing to show this year after all these companies backed out, and even including, of course, Ubisoft, even though Ubisoft said they were going to do some sort of presentation. That wasn't the case. They still wanted to do something on their own, just by having to say so, right? Like, oh, we're still at E3. Not. Anyway. It sucks to see because E3 did have its moments, right? It definitely had the memorable stuff that, well, has become memes at this point, including Reggie's, Reggie from Nintendo, or formerly from Nintendo. Reggie said the famous words, my body is ready, when the Wii was coming out, or was coming out with a different game or something. It might have been Wii Fit or something like that. I forget the exact context to it, but it was Wii related, and yes, that was definitely a moment to remember as a Nintendo fan. And not to mention, of course, with Keanu Reeves as the most recent memorable event, just Keanu Reeves making an appearance as Johnny Silverhand, and I remember seeing that through the stream. I was like, whoa,
Like Hawke said, if that's in game, that's pretty impressive.
Wake the f up, samurai.
If being the operating word.
We have a city to burn.
Keanu Reeves? What?
Keanu Reeves?
Yo!
That's fucking cool.
Why is Keanu Reeves just showing up in everything lately?
Is that Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, it is Keanu. It's John Wick.
No, right
dude.
there?
It's John Wick.
Oh my god.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, it is.
Damn.
And him actually being at E3 was an actual nice, genuine surprise, especially with how passionate he is with the game, and the whole "you're breathtaking," that moment too, with the audience member, telling him that, and then he responded with his own.
Is really going to be breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
Fucking Keanu.
Which was awesome, I thought. And then in fact, the audience member got some free stuff, like big free stuff too, including I think it might have been like a Cyberpunk bundle or something, with the Xbox and everything. I think I could be wrong, but that was during the Microsoft presentation, so that was quite the moment as well. And of course, there were many other moments as well with all the exciting reveals and stuff like that, including Dragon Ball FighterZ and all that stuff. Remember that? So yeah, obviously E3 was like video game Christmas for many of us, and I definitely will miss it as much as I gave my 2 cents about it, because not so much the in-person experience. Yeah, that's great and all, but I just miss watching it, especially with friends. I definitely missed the sort of like, the times of just like sitting down, watching it with friends and through Discord and stuff like that, and just make fun of it whenever we want, that sort of thing. And just of course, just to hear all the announcements is just convenient, especially when it was just within the week. But yeah, now we do have Summer Games Fest or whatever, but it's just, I don't know, it just feels scattered brained and doesn't feel as magical, I guess you could say, as E3. I mean, yeah, it's doing its job and all, but doesn't hold that same water, if you know what I'm saying, with E3. But of course, E3 nowadays is just irrelevant. It's a relic of the past, essentially, and I think that's pretty much why it fell off. It's like, hey, why pay this much money to get a little space in E3 at the convention center when we could just do our own event you know, just do a presentation of our own, put it online, and people will watch it. Because guess what? People love games, right? And, you know, ever since, of course, not only because, you know, when I went there the second time, of course, but the Nintendo Direct, I think Nintendo Direct came before I went there the second time, I believe, right? I believe the very first Nintendo Direct was like in between my first visit and my second visit of E3. So I think that was actually sort of like the very first nail in the coffin for E3. It opened the eyes, more and more eyes over time for other companies to be like, you know what? Why don't we do our own show? And of course even EA followed suit after that, and then PlayStation and blah blah blah, and you know, you name it. And there are other sort of things that went on with E3 that kind of like added more nails to that coffin. Example, well, the management, you know, and there were just stuff going on with the management, and you know, I can't really say in detail because obviously I don't work there or anything like that, but from what I can understand though, the company of itself was kind of like in the rough, and there were just a lot of just, you know, disagreements and mismanagement on top of that. Even like, you know, Jeff Keighley was a part of E3, and he wanted to do this, but other people wanted to do that. So Keighley was like, yeah, you know what, I'm out. I'm going to do my own thing. And then, guess what? We got Summer Games Fest. Summer Games Fest? Whatever. Anyway, we got that. And look what happened, right? Also. And just, you know, I think that's just the fact that a lot of companies backed out at this point. You know, we had nothing to show. So it's like, why do it at this point? And, you know, E3 definitely tried to do digital thing or digital events, but I think that was also pointless at this time, because it's like, what E3 is known for is, well, the convention of itself, the physical aspect of things, the in-person experience. So once that was out of the window, yeah, you know, it's like, why go there? Why even partake, you know? And yeah, one of the other ones was the whole leak with the information. Unfortunately, someone was very well, again, I think this is part of the mismanagement, but they let somebody get a hold of the information, and well, someone, I think, either leaked it or just started giving out that information some way, somehow, or whatever. And you know, so all those all the addresses of the individuals who sort of registered for ESA and stuff like that, E3 stuff, all that information was leaked. So at least for the big companies anyway, or bigger individuals, that stuff happened. So that was also another nail in the coffin sort of thing. It definitely left a sour taste in people's mouths, one way or the other. So that was definitely something also to take note of. The other thing, I think that really the last one, not the main reason, but one of the last nails was just COVID. I think COVID really did a lot of things for the industry, especially gaming. And COVID really made things just like, you know, just hard for in-person events, of course, but it made people realize, it's like, why don't we adopt this like remote sort of aspect to our workflow? And I think that was definitely just definitely the last nail in the coffin. Well, not the main nail, but still a nail nonetheless to go into the coffin to close it up, well, pretty much almost completely. And yeah, so that was, you know, all those reasons definitely stacked up and warranted E3 to be canceled, and in fact likely to be canceled forever. It just lost its relevancy at this point. It's just it had its time. It was a product of its time, I think. You know, back in the day, it was like kind of like the cool kids club. You got so much stuff, you know, and the stories from what I've heard, people were bringing back trucks load of free stuff back to their cars, trucks even. Someone even brought their truck to just get all that stuff in. But when I went there, people told me that this was nothing, right? Even though I did get quite a bit of nice free stuff, people said this was nothing. Like, you got more stuff back in the day. That was also some sign that people really wanted to constrain their budget. And now, the budget is definitely a thing more than ever, you know, to the point where people don't even want to go to E3 to show off their games. They're going to do their own thing. So all that has ultimately led to the end of E3, and I definitely am sad to say, because I don't have E3 to watch, pretty much, with friends or by myself to do reactions with, right? To do reactions for. And, you know, it's just something part of my high school part of gaming, right? I mean, it was something to remember, or it is something to remember now at this point, and we can only reminisce on it. There are still people, even like the big people, who have not gone to E3, and now they've missed out on it, you know? If you wanted to go to E3 on your own volition, you had to pay up thousands of dollars up the wazoo. And then I think once E3 went public again, I guess, that was kind of like, you know, and the E3 experience, in-person experience, got subdued, or more subpar, because of going public and stuff like that. There's just too many people, and they were trying to do things differently, but they never got around to it, because, well, guess what? They got nothing to show. They were going to just have like the media people and like all the influencers for one day or two, and then the rest of it was going to be open for the public, kind of like how the LA Auto Show did it, or has done it to this day. Which I think at this point how it should have been done, but it's too little, too late at this point. Yeah, so it sucks, and you know, I'll definitely look back on it with good memories, and you know, I can definitely consider myself lucky to be a part of that experience, one or the other. But ultimately, I will miss it just for the announcements, the moments that happened at E3, the presentations, and all that. That was like the main appeal for me, of course, with the rest of the gamers, and you know, it's definitely something. It's just like just one of those things, right? You know, it's like a toy in the '90s, right? If, you know, once this continues, right, it sucks, but life goes on, right? So that's just the way a cookie crumbles at this point. So that's all I got for E3. Definitely feeling sad, but it is what it is, and you know, it's one of those things, like, right? It's like, it doesn't come with a surprise, but it's still sad to see it happen, it unfold, right? So that's just my 2 cents on it for E3, and I salute you for all the good memories, and thank you for that. So you will be missed, but you will pretty much live on in our hearts for the rest of our lives as gamers. So anyways, that's all I got to say. Thank you very much. If you have any comments about E3, leave me down below. You know, did you want to go to E3? Was E3 one of your bucket list sort of things? You know, put that in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and yeah, I definitely do appreciate that. So thank you very much. This has been my sort of thoughts about the end of E3, possibly, but likely. Will it be back? Ah, man, it's hard to say. But anyways, hope to see you all in the next one. Sean out.